It's about fucking time I got the chance. Hi! For those of you who don't know, one of my favorite game series growing up was the Neptunia series. It's actually probably the biggest game that got me into a bunch of the anime stuff that I really enjoy nowadays and probably makes up most of what I do. But I have accumulated a quite large collection of the Neptunia stuff, which we're gonna go over today. For one reason and one reason only that I will get to in a minute. But first of all, this is my Switch case. This is the actual one I carry around. My Switch games are all in here, some Joy-Cons. There's an amiibo, little flash thing in there. All my games are in here, some of which we'll be showing on camera today. I'm not going to be showing any gameplay of them, just showing off of what I have, including all the games. And I mean all of them. But, to start off with, we need to go back just a little bit, because this is the first game series that I can say made me buy a console. And it sits on my desk still. This is a PS Vita. For those of you who don't know, for some reason, this is Sony's last handheld console they made, unless you count the Portal, which I don't. But, this was their console. This is the 3G model, or at least it was. This is heavily modded. I have SD cards inside of it. There's an SD card slot, I think. Is this where it goes? Yeah, SD card slot right there where the SIM card used to go. And this was a very difficult console to hold. By the way, hi. The thing that made this difficult is, I mean, it's handy, it's comfy, as long as, you're playing the game normally. Except for that whole thing's a touchpad. All of this is a touchpad. Thankfully, most of the games I played didn't make use of that. But it's a touchpad, a touchscreen, and a really nice console. I modded mine because I wanted to be able to use the cartridge slot on it, because if you do, there's a secondary mod, which I think is on the other one, we'll check in a moment. That lets you put an SD card up here instead, but you can't use cartridges if you do that, because then you're kind of screwed. And these things were dumb because they needed proprietary memory cards, which I don't have one in here. I think I have one right here. Hold on. I do. Yeah, proprietary memory cards. They were required for most of these. In order to do anything on them, you needed a memory card. And these are prone to dying, which is why everyone put an SD card in theirs, because I'd rather not have a cartridge slot and be able to play and save my game. The higher gigabytes you got, the more likely it was to die, from what I've heard. That's why this is only an 8 gigabyte, even though there was a 16 gigabyte. I had a 16 gigabyte. This was a gift from my grandmother, who, upon walking into GameStop, was told, hey, he's gonna need this, and this, and this, and it was an extra power adapter. I don't remember what else, but it was in an in-box PS Vita from GameStop, and they told her that I needed to get a 16 gigabyte Vita memory card, which I used the hell out of until I started modding and it died. But this isn't the only one I have. I also have, for more recent purposes, my orange Vita. This one's my favorite. It's not as nice of a screen. This is an OLED, this is an LCD. It is noticeable. Yes, these are dusty. They have been sitting on my desk, but it's more shiny. Hello. But it's also a lot more comfortable to hold to me. A lot of the buttons work better. Everything else works better inside of it. It removes the expansion port, I believe, and I do not have an SD card in this one. This one is stock. I believe that's because, unlike the other ones, this had internal memory. But also, it has a Vita memory card inside of it, because I was using this one mostly stock. And I really like being able to play my cartridges, especially since I have a lot of them, as we're fixing to learn. But I wanted to show these because they do have a hand in the reason of me loving the Neptunia series so much. Shows that I wanted a console specifically for it. My grandmother got me one. I got myself one. It's nice. I even own a PlayStation TV, although I don't have it nearby where I can grab it, which is basically, in Japan it was called the Vita TV, because it's just this, but you put it up to a TV. It had a lot of limitations and a lot of games that didn't work, and games had to start being marked PlayStation TV compatible, even though it used a PS4 controller, which means that you could use the touchpad. So I don't see why there was ones that couldn't work. In fact, there's a mod that makes it to where it can. I've gone 5 minutes without actually showing any of the Neptunia stuff. Let me put this away. And we're going to start off with the Vita stuff. Allow me to grab them, because I won't lie, a lot of it I'm going to have to roll my chair over to grab, because I couldn't find a way to put them right here. But let me get them all. I don't know why Rebirth 2's at the top. But yeah. Started out with these guys, which are the first ones I owned. This is the main trilogy that has been remade. Look, PlayStation TV compatible. These were the main ones that were remade to fit with the PlayStation Vita. They also came out on PC and got later re-releases, which we'll cover later. But these are the ones that I grabbed first, and then, I won't lie, most of this collection has been lost and re-grabbed. These are not my original copies, but they do still work. I did make the time to collect all of them again, because I really wanted to. By the way, just a little rummy down. The entire game is basically about console wars and their fight against piracy. Or fight against different things. I know in this one, it's the fight against piracy. But basically each character represents a different nation is each company. So like Neptune is Sega, for the Sega Neptune. Do they have the other characters on the back? Yeah, they do. You have, so this is Purple Heart, who is Neptune. This is White Heart, who is Blanc. This is Nintendo. She represented the Wii. And then you have Noir or Blackheart and Noir, who represent the Sony and the PlayStation 3 at the time. And then this is Vert and Greenheart. So Vert and Greenheart. And they represented Xbox and the 360 at the time. It was very cool idea to me to have each character being representative of a company, even down to like, this is Idea Factory and this is Compile Heart, or Compa and Iffy. I love it. It's actually just IF, but she gets called Iffy all the time by the other ones, so I just call her Iffy. But yeah, the Compile Heart being the main ones who made the game, and Idea Factory being the ones who did these. Really cool to me, and that's what intrigued me so much about trying to get into them. They are a little fan servicey, but I don't mind that kind of thing. But then we had the Rebirth 2, which brought in the versions of the handheld consoles, which was the Game Gear or Netgear. You have Rom and Ram, who are two of them because of the DS having two screens. And then you have Uni, who is the PSP, I believe. Because the PS Vita wasn't out at the time that these characters were made. So they were all made to represent the different ones there. They don't show their regular forms here, but they do have their CPU forms, which is what these are. And then you get to Rebirth 3, where they just added a whole bunch of characters. And I believe this is whenever things like switched over. I haven't played this one. I really need to. And I'm going to, but not today. But I wanted to give a little explanation about them because of... I'm going to be talking your ear off about each of these. And the stories about sometimes how I got them and what made them a little special to me. But, let's go to this one next. Producing Perfection. This is a rhythm game. Out of everything they could have made, it's a rhythm game. With, like, light dating sim type things. I won't lie, I didn't play this very much. As much as I love rhythm games, this one didn't fit for me. It was not my thing. But it was fun enough to where I kept it in the collection. I did end up having to rebuy this copy. There's only 2 of the Vita games that I did not ever sell, and I will mention them whenever I have them. But this was still fun enough, and I still had fun with it. It's just not something I would sit down and play for hours and hours. It's someone's cup of tea, but it ain't mine. Move these all aside real quick. I'm gonna move them over here to remember that, hey, I've already gone over those. But the one that is my cup of tea, I really liked this one. This is the hack and slash. Hyperdimension Neptunia U Action Unleashed is literally just hordes of enemies tear through them. It's like Senran Kagura type thing, which will be funny later. But it's literally like a Senran Kagura, but just a hack and slash. It was like Estival Versus if you ever played that. It is literally just enemies, hack and slash, tear through them, and make sure I can show the back I can. I had to make sure, because one thing about this that is also like Senran Kagura is as you attack, your clothes get damaged, they fall off. And they do a flashy screen whenever you get too far into damaged. I just had to make sure that I didn't have that on the back, because I don't want this channel being the one that gets, like, slammed through the freaking floor for showing something I shouldn't. But I love this game a lot. This one was unfortunately not my original copy. I did have to pick it back up, but it's one of my favorites. And I'm really glad to have it back. Let's move on, because I will go about that one forever. This one is not my favorite. This is Hyper Devotion Noir. This is like a Fire Emblem. Straight up, it's like going around a board game. It's not my kind of thing. It's someone's, it's not mine. I won't even lie. I didn't get past the first section to this. I got really bored really fast of it. Someone's cup of tea, though. But yeah. The characters look really cool, though, which is one thing that makes me disappointed that I couldn't get through it, because, like, it's all about just Noir and all of her stuff. And it's not something I got to enjoy. Maybe I'll take some time one day and do it. And then, onto the ones I've kept. Mega Tag mentioned Blanc versus Zombies plus Neptune. This is literally just Neptunia U, but smaller. You're not going around a world, you're just shoved in a thing and it's telling a story. It's cute, and the only reason I kept this one is because this is the last game I bought for the Vita. So it had a little bit of recency bias for me. I'm gonna move the microphone a little closer so you guys may hear stuff, because there's stuff dangling on it. There we go. But yeah, this was the last one I did. I found. I remember me and my partner at the time looking up GameStops and being like, okay, this is the last one I need. Let me go look around for it. Look around everywhere and everywhere and everywhere. And I ended up finding out that it was at one in a nearby mall, and we begged her mother to bring us up there because I was too young to drive at the time, and so is she. So we got brought up there. Also, memory card required. This has probably been seen a lot on these things. This is annoying. But yeah, we begged to go up there, and we ran through the door, and I grabbed this off the shelf and brought it to the counter so fast. I was so ready to grab it. I already had my money in hand and bought it right there. This was the last Neptunia game I bought and the last Vita game I ever bought. Well, until I had to regain the collection. But it meant a lot to me because of that. I never played this game much, but I was very happy because of that. Making sure it's still in there, because I've not actually opened this in years. The other one I kept. Super Dimension Neptune versus Sega Hard Girls. This one was a gift. It is plain and simple. That's why I kept it. If you know me at all, IRL, if you give me something that is not edible or is not a consumable, I will never let go of it. I will hold on to it for an eternity because you thought of me whenever you gave me something. Even if the person who gave this to me is not someone I talk to anymore. I still keep it because I was very happy with it, and also this is one of my favorite of the games. It plays like the standard Rebirth series, the same action style and everything. Also, this is the first one where Iffy cusses. It was pretty funny. Don't pay her fucking bike. But I think that's all the Vita games. Looking over at my stack over here. Yeah, that's all the Vita games. So, I'm probably gonna have to do this in multiple parts. Phewy. Let's go over and grab. Yeah, I got the originals. And not just in standard form, too. Do you think I was kidding when I said I like this series? Let me move the Vita games. I apologize for the chair squeaking. It is very old. But yeah, these are just the originals. This is 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, and 5 if you're weird, because it's V for victory. These are the original PS3 releases that a lot of people say the rebirths are good for 2 and 3, but apparently the story and some of the stuff that was lost from 1 is really good, and you should play them. However, this also has random encounters, if I'm not mistaken, and that annoys the hell out of me. These have never been played by me. I bought them knowing my PS3 couldn't use them because I wanted to have them, and they were there and they were cheap. I think they were like 20 bucks each whenever I got them. Wasn't bad. I was very happy with it. And, yeah, they are, if I'm not mistaken, they're complete. Yeah. Manual. 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 And yeah, you'll notice these do not have Idea Factory's name on it. It's an NIS America. I wonder how that affects, yeah, Idea Factory's still here. So I guess if he would still be here. But yeah, it's NIS that did these, that published these ones. Not Idea Factory Publishing. It's interesting, because NIS now publishes a bunch of other games that are semi-similar. I don't play any of their games very much, but I know I have a couple. But the reason I got these over is because I also have all the special editions. I bought these aside. I was out at a local video game store with one of my high school friends, and he was bringing me around to like the different stores in the area, and we went into this big store, and on display on the front case was all 3 of these special editions for the original games. And I was 2 seconds from walking out the door, and I looked at him and went, can I justify? Yeah, I did. So I ended up buying all of them. I do not remember what's in these. We are going to open them. They are damaged a little bit. I know 2 parts that are damaged in 1 and 2. But... come on. Oh, come on. Gently. There we go. So, you get the game. And if I'm not mistaken, it is just the game. And please don't tear it. Come on. And the art book. The little art book. This has probably barely been opened. Hey, look, firearms. I can show them, as long as I don't show them being loaded. Their art style changed quite a bit. Yeah, all these are different nations. We got Last Station, which is Sony, Wii, which is Wii, for Nintendo, Leanbox, Xbox, Planet Neptune, Sega Neptune. Different costumes, different weapons. Huh, I don't know about these. Processor units. Interesting. Bunch of enemies. If he was in it. But yeah, it was just an art book and a game. Wasn't anything too special, but it was special to me. Now, I gotta remember which ones I went through and which ones I didn't. I went through Mark II. Oh, first of all, the box. Artwork of the CPUs. These are the candidates. And these are the candidates and all the CPUs and IFI and Compa and I forget your name. I want to say it's Broccoli, but I don't think that's right. But really cute. Let me get this open. If I remember correctly, this one comes with, yeah, a deck of cards. I'm not going to open them. These are already damaged. Ah, yes. Copy of the game, still sealed. An art book. And the CD soundtrack. What sucks is that, unlike old CDs, you don't have the track list there. Here's the track list. Unfortunately, none of these are the songs I know because These are slightly changed in Rebirth. But it's very nice that it includes a soundtrack. You don't get soundtracks with games nowadays, and it's sad. I'll be honest, a lot of games I'm not even interested in having a soundtrack of, but this one I was. We'll go through the art book just a little bit. Just a little bit. I've never actually opened it. It's cute. Ram and Ram, Neptune and Uni, the oracles, of course the enemies, a couple of the locations, and the packaging, CPUs in captivity. Actually a scene in game. Couple rough sketches. Yeah, I won't go through too much of it, because I'm pretty sure this section of the video is going to cause problems, because as you could probably tell, they changed a lot of these for the candidates specifically. These tucked back in here. Yeah, they changed the outfits of the candidates specifically because I don't think Nintendo or Sony or any company would have let them on there if they didn't. Making sure I get these back in where they go. Oh. Try and keep it complete. Because, you know, collections and stuff like that. Buy games to be played. I know I'm a little hypocrite for that, but please play your games. Anyway, so this is the one for victory. It comes in a fucking metal box. Like, when have you seen one that comes in a metal box? I know I'm not zooming out for this, and I'm sorry for that. But like, what the heck? Anyway, let's dig into this. Oh, does that belong in here? That does belong in here. Pretty squad. That is because of the NIS. Oh, this is... Huh. This feels heavier than the original. But yeah, you get the game. Once again, you have your art book. We will poke around in that in a moment. You got your Sounds of Game Industry, which has a lot more on it. You have a mini lunchbox, and that's it. Yeah, mini lunchbox is meant to be used as a pencil case, if I'm not mistaken. I have never opened this. If I wasn't afraid of breaking or damaging it, I so would just use that. We're not going to give this a listen. Copyright. You understand. But we are going to, however, take a look in here. Because I want to. I can hit that phone, it's okay. Yeah, Neptune. Iris Heart or Plutia. Blackheart. They changed her design for this one. Blanc. Vert. Jesus. Yep, Nepgear. This is her new uniform. Peachy. Or Yellowheart. And then Lil Iffy and Lil Kampa. And I don't remember you. I remember you from the anime, but I don't remember your name. Oh, Ray. And then Arfoire, Pirichiu. Any death, copy paste. Little rough sketches. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You get the idea. It's really cute. Try not to show too much. But enough to make you go, ooh, oh, don't forget the Prinny Squad. These are going to be a pain to put away, by the way. I know that for a fact. Because I know how I had these... Oh, I'm so sorry. I know how I had these organized. The answer is they were buried. Now they are not. Anyway, remember how I said they put them mostly on the PlayStation Vita? Yeah, here's the PS4. I lied. The PS4 got a lot of love. I think there's a couple PS5 games in here too. Yeah, there are. One of these was a gift, and I still haven't played it. Yeah, PS4 got a lot of love. We are going to go over the PS5 ones too, but most of them are just the same games on the PS4. This one, however, it's kind of crazy to me. This is a remake of the Rebirth 1 game. It is a remake of a remake. It's the first game for PS5. Also, something that I want to point out, because you're going to notice the not for resale on a lot of these. The original covers are these ones here. The covers that they put out on shelves is actually different. Because they know their fan base, they give you both. What are the differences? Normally they cover up the chest. There's a little bit of covering here, here, and here. That's normally it. I like having the official cover, so I put it out. That, and I mean, like, Senran and Kagura was on the shelf. Really? Although I think Senran and Kagura did the same thing. But yeah, this is a remake of Rebirth 1. Oh, I put that in wrong. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Actually, more physical difficulties, because I'm just an idiot. There we go. There we go. Didn't want to get it bent. But yeah, remake of a remake. Always funny to me. Yeah, we'll go through this. This was released on both. I will hands down say, this is the worst game I've played from the Neptunia series. By the way, these are all side games. Any of them that don't say Rebirth 1, 2, 3, or V2 are all, or V2R, are all side games. We're getting into V2R and V2 later. But this is the worst side game I've played. This game is awful. It is literally just, you're given a field, run your motorcycle through it, and pick and run through slimes faster than your enemy. That's it. Anyway. This one's fun, though. It's really weird because it's a hack and slash, kind of like Neptunia U, but you have guns and VTubers. There's actually official VTubers that show up in different parts of the game. It doesn't show any here, which is unfortunate. But like, if I'm not mistaken, there's like Inagami Korone and like a whole bunch of others during cutscenes, during loading screens and stuff like that, that are just VTubers, because this all takes place in like a VTubing space. And these two are VTubers, and it's really cool to me. I expected this to be a rhythm game. It is not. Is there anything in here? No, it's just controls. At least they can truly include something. We'll come back to this one in a minute. Because there's more. But I can't go too far into it without mentioning this is my favorite side game of all time. I love the combat in this one. It's really nice. I love everything they did with this one. I've got the special cover out on this one because the original cover you'll see later. But I really like the special cover. I think it looks cute. They changed the combat style to more of a hack and slash action RPG. So you kind of just hack at it, but also it does still have a little bit of challenge because it's an RPG. But it's really cool to me, and I loved this one. I haven't finished playing through it, but I am currently playing through it, and I was really happy with it when it came out. I played this for hours on my first time going through it. I was so happy with it. This was also the first one that came out during my time of finally getting back into Neptunia and collecting and all that, and getting all my collection back up to where it was. Although, my original collection was just the Vita games. I've gone a little bit past that. But yeah, this one was really fun. I was really happy with it. It's a little repetitive, but most of the games are you're kind of just running through a dungeon looking for the exit. But it was one of the first ones where I was like, I want to fight stuff. This was fun. And then we have the game that made everyone realize that Sony was causing censorship. I'll explain this in a moment. There's cutscenes in this game. The cutscenes are just pictures. During certain parts of these cutscenes, they cropped in the image to cover up anything that may be considered as obscene. This is whenever we realized that Sony was asking them to please tone it down. However, you know what company didn't tell them to tone it down? At least not yet. Let me grab it real quick. Nintendo. This game has all the cutscenes intact as they were meant to be. Why? And this is gonna get really funny later on in this recording. But why? Anyway, we'll put this aside for the going back over the Switch stuff. Because I get to be angry during the Switch stuff. But yeah, this is more of a side-scrolling RPG type dealio. It's the only game I can compare it to is like Illusia, which is not a good representation. I'm sure someone can think of something better, but basically the entire thing is just jumping and dashing, exploring dungeons. Everyone's a little chibi. It's really cute. Turn-based RPG. So is the rest of it. Ah, sorry, it's like late. But so is the rest of the game. So is the rest of the series, really. So, really fun, though. If you like RPGs, you'll play this one a lot more than I did. I had fun with it, but it was not for me. Give me one sec. Sorry, I am sick. I had to go cough. I had to deal with that. That's also why I haven't been starting up my recordings yet for most things this week. I'm only doing this one because I wanted to. Anyway, next game. I actually don't want to cover that one yet. Let's cover this one. Four Goddesses Online. Once again, hack and slash adventure. Really fun. You take place with one other person, and you can go around and fight stuff in an open area. You see the online part? Don't do that. This game's online runs like dog shit. Whoever's the host will be playing fine. Whoever is, like, connecting in is gonna have a bad time. This game runs like dog shit. But it's fun at least. If you're playing it single player, you'll have a good time. If you're playing it multiplayer, please don't. Basically, though, they get sucked into a game. If you watch the anime or listened to Vert talk ever, she mentions there's a game called Four Goddesses Online. You are playing that game now. It's fun. I like it. I did play this one for quite a bit. But I wanted to do the online for it, and the online sucks. So, little disappointment. That's okay, though. Because next up, I don't even remember what this game was about. I remember it had combat similar to Sister v Sisters, so I played a ton of it, but there was extra stuff in it that I didn't understand. Takes place with adult Nep, no? Or older Nep, or cooler Nep, whichever one you want to call her. It's my favorite of the Nep, so it's Nep. The game's fun. I don't remember much about it. I really don't. I wish I did. Because I would be able to tell you more about it, and I can't. And then we have these two. These two are the same. Well, they're supposed to be the same fucking game. This is basically the rebirth of this game. This was released on the same fucking console, as you can tell. But this one added interactive cutscenes that used VR. I've never experienced this. I don't own a PlayStation VR. I don't know anyone who owned a PlayStation VR. But it's supposed to be the same thing. It's just, this is a simpler game. Apparently this one was a hectic as hell game. And I haven't gotten to play either of them yet because I've refused to until I finish the Rebirth trilogy. And I haven't even gotten a quarter of the way done with that. But yeah, it was fun though. It was fun. I'm sure it'll be a great game. And if you like the VR stuff, just go play the VR one. Also, this shows you how they changed up how the back of cases looked on the PS4. Look, PS4 Pro, because you need the Pro one to be able to have VR stuff. Both of these got released on PC, and the VR works in PC. Just play it with your Vive, your Index, your Quest, your Oculus, your Rift S, Meta, whatever the hell you have. Just play it with that. Don't pick up a PlayStation VR for this thing. This is fun, though. I think the proper way to play these is on the console, but I think this one just played on your computer. I'm gonna throw whoever keeps messaging my fucking phone. Who is messaging me so much? Anyway, that is the entire stack of PlayStation games. Thank God. Oh wait, we're not done! Yeah, I picked up some special editions. I actually think this one is of the Switch version. I don't remember. It may be lacking a game if it's the PS4 version. Let's do this one first. Yeah, let's do this one first. This is whenever they started doing steelbooks, which look fantastic. They feel nice. I love a steelbook design. The fact they made the screen on the phone reflective is always nice to me. And then, as per usual, soundtrack, art book. I kind of want to go through the art book. I actually haven't gotten to see this. What is Neptunia? We're not going to go through that. Uni. Got. I always forget which one's which. That's ROM. And it's RAM. We got Vert. And Arnie. And Maho. These two characters are fun to play as. By the way, you can only play as them if you have the Switch version. We'll get into that in a moment. Which is weird because the Switch version doesn't run as good. Okay, what songs are on these? Nothing too big. Kind of weird that, you know, you include a whole CD for 9 songs. But it's supposed to be a sound composition. I understand. Let me get this packed back up. I actually hadn't opened this before. I'm not gonna lie. I grabbed the game out of it and then stopped. So, that was new for me. Put this away. Oh, wait. Hold on. There's designs on the inside. We got Black Sister. White Sister. Purple Sister. And White Sister. Yeah, I don't know about this. So cute on the back. This entire game is basically, it's about the sisters. Put that over here. And now for this one. The VTuber one. Which, again, I didn't play a bunch of. But, I've never dug into this either. If I'm not mistaken, though, it's the same thing. Metal case. Does not come with a game inside. This comes with a physical copy of the original game. That's how I have my physical copy. Yep, soundtrack. Okay, I need to quit hitting that camera. Wow, that's a much bigger soundtrack. Whoa. Okay. And then we have the art book. See, does it include the other VTubers in here, or? Oh, it includes the whole timeline. Probably not including the other ones. Of course, there's swimsuit designs, art designs, rough designs. Pretty cool stuff. But yeah, this is whenever they've kind of slimmed down what they do for their special editions to, you get a steelbook, you get a soundtrack, you get a art book. Be happy. Show anything on the back? Nope. Alright. We are approaching the home stretch and the part where I get angry. So, here we go. Switch. Oh yeah, this is where it gets weird. Wait, didn't I have? Hold on. I think there's a game missing from this stack. Did that not exist? Hold on. Hold on. Okay, it was today whenever I in fact learned I do not have every game. I thought I picked up the PS4 copy of this one. I have not yet, apparently. I'll need to fix that soon. Neptunia X Senran Kagura Ninja Wars. Giant game with both marvelous Idea Factory compile heart. It plays like a Senran Kagura Estival versus type game. And it has really cool artwork and gets them into like ninja outfits and stuff like that. It's really cool. I really liked this one. Don't need to go too much more into it. Neither do I need to go back into how much I love this one. This is how I've actually been playing it, is on this one. By the way, they did the same thing on this one. The original artwork is different than the artwork on the outside. I actually have the outside artwork on this one for a reason I will show later. But the inside artwork is literally just, they have the crystal covering her chest. Her chest is exposed. That is it. I always thought that was cool, though, that they include both. But yeah, this is the same game. The only difference is you can play as the two new characters only on the Nintendo Switch version. Really weird, but I see why they did it, and I'm also not going to go into this one. Still hate this game. Don't hate it. I still think this game was a waste of money. If it wasn't for the fact that I really like the Neptunia series and want to collect them all. Besides the point. Honestly, most of these are games that are on the PS4. Here's something that's funny, though. Actually, you know what? I'll just let you know. I've already shown the Neptunia RPG, but Game Maker Revolution also came out on the Switch. I've got a story about this one. I pre-ordered this on all three consoles. The PS4, the PS5, and the Switch. No. Did I do PS5? I think there was a PS5 in that. I think I'm missing games from over here. I just realized that. I think there's games missing. I'll have to check that later. But I pre-ordered this game. No, it was no. It was this one. I pre-ordered this one for all consoles. I do know I have all of these. And I got my Switch and PS5 copy on day one from GameStop. And at my local GameStop, I waited. And waited. And waited. And waited. For my PS4 copy. For 6 fucking months. Before I walked into that store. And me and the owner at the time, we were on iffy terms because the stuff I'm not gonna talk about. But I was like, hey man, where's my game? And he went, it's been on order. I don't know why they haven't sent it yet. I was like, cool. So it was like, it should be here by like Monday. I was like, okay. I went in there on Monday and I was at my wit's end. I was done. And so the guy working there was actually a good buddy of mine. Him and the nice other person there was very kind. And we sat there for a moment and was like, okay, how can we fix this? So we decided to go, okay, I'm just going to refund it and I'll buy it myself online. The system wouldn't let them refund it because of how long it had been. And I went, okay, what about credit? We can put it on credit. They couldn't do it for store credit either. It had to be for an item that was in the store at that time. I took it and I was like, okay, well, what if I just grab a game off the shelf that costs the same? And then we buy it, refund it, and put it back on the shelf. That's what we did. Bought it, refunded it, and then with that, we were able to actually order it online. Because they tried doing the whole thing where you can do in-store order at GameStop. You can go to GameStop and like order on the in-store and let it to where it'll be shipped to your house or shipped to the GameStop at some locations. It wouldn't let them do that for some reason. They were just stuck with it being like, okay, you gotta pick up something from in-store. So yeah, we did the whole refund process, and then after the refund, it was left as store credit, which they could then put on a card that they then got to use that card to order this online. And it showed up in 2 days. A week later, I went back to that GameStop, talking to the same nice person that was there. They went, you want to see something funny? And I was like, what? They said, go look at the new PS5 section. Or PS4 section. It's like, no fucking way. They got the copy in that week. I always found that story funny. Anyway, here's something else I'll find funny. I bought this. This is the last one I bought for the Switch, I believe. Not counting the new ones. This is the last older one I bought for the Switch. This is a limited run release of Neptunia V2 for the Switch. And I put out a Twitter post that said, hey, Idea Factory, why can I play V2 on my Switch, but I can't play Rebirth 1 through 3? I would like to play the whole series. Please fix this. And about a couple months later, I think it was either a couple months or the next year in a couple months, they announce it. They announced they are doing Rebirth 1 through 3. They're going to do Rebirth 1 through 3 on the PS4 and the Switch. The PS4 version is Japan exclusive. The Switch will be Japan and US. It's supposed to be released in May. May comes. There's no pre-order. There's nothing you can do. There's no orders. There's no physical copies. There's nothing. Not even a Nintendo Store page. On the day of release, we hear the news that it is being indefinitely delayed to God knows when. So I wait. I wait for the rest of that year up until December, when we are notified that due to the content of the game, they now can no longer release it on the Switch, and Nintendo has said no. This also removed the ability for them to put Death Request on there. Death Request Code Z was supposed to come out on the Switch. It didn't get to come out on the Switch because Nintendo said it was too risky. I want to remind you that this is the game that was left uncensored while Sony said it was a problem. Why? We waited and waited. And someone even tried to do an Operation Rainfall 2. It didn't happen. And so we were kind of left lost of like, okay. But it came out in Japan. So we all did the same thing. And bought it from Japan. Here it is. Switch copies of Rebirth 1 through 3. Perfectly made. They were ready to go. The English copies were ready to go. They had the English translation of the same fucking audio, because it's the same damn game with just extra DLC. And they were going to release it. It was ready to go, and we were going to have it on a handheld again, and Nintendo said no. Nintendo said no. You weren't allowed. You're not allowed to have that. However, that didn't stop East Asia Soft. Yeah, so these are the English versions re-released on the Switch. Still sealed, because I haven't opened these. I have not gotten to play them yet, except for Rebirth 1, because I popped that in. It comes with even a manual. But yeah, they were perfectly ready to go, and East Asia Soft popped in and was like, hey, nothing stops us from releasing them here and importing them through PlayAsia, which is what we did. All of them are existing. All of them are released. All of them don't have to have anything to do with the American system. They all worked fine. They all released fine. And they all play fine. People tried to spread a rumor saying that they ran like dog shit. That was on an emulator. The emulator wasn't optimized for them yet. It ran fine. The game runs perfectly fine. I want to remind you, it ran on a fucking Vita. I don't think the Switch is going to have a problem. The Vita's from, like, the old as shit. It's actually not. I think the Vita's from, like, oh, God. No, it is old as shit. Fuck. But, yeah. But in America, we were kind of left high and dry. Until we got an announcement. Idea Factory finally said, we know that you were disappointed. We decided to fix it. These are still sealed and in the bag. These are the PS4 copies. This is why I said it was funny that they did the reverse thing, because Rebirth 1 is Rebirth 1 Plus, which means it's technically has more shit. They brought over some of the cooler stuff from the other ones and put them into here. Also, all of them made it on the same fucking day. They did get delayed. They got delayed from September to October. Perfectly fine. I didn't want to play them on my birthday anyway. Thanks, Idea Factory. But yeah. Sony swooped in and was like, hey, we'll do it. We'll let you play your Neptunia game. So, this is where I'm at a bit of a pickle. I want to play one of these for the channel at some point. However, this game is one I am prone to getting stuck on and frustrated and leaving. So it is going to be a VODs channel thing. I will live stream it every now and then, and if I stream it, I will put it up as a VOD on the VODs channel, and I will show me playing it there. As much as I wanted to do a Let's Play of it, I can't bring myself to do it with the potential chance of me not being able to finish it. I want to finish this game, and I want to play through it, but it's one of those games I have to put down every now and then, and I can't do that with a Let's Play. I am going to be still taking another week off after this week before I do another Let's Play. Mainly because I really need to figure out what I want to do, but also, I'm sick as shit, and my voice is not really ready to record for long periods of time, unlike this right here. I want to remind you guys, I record for 2 hours at a time whenever I do Let's Play videos. I can't do that right now. I already had to take a cough break. Anyway. I think that's everything. Looking over there. Don't think I missed a thing. Oh, I do have one more thing. I'm not going to show the whole thing, but I find it cute. It's also very much stuck together because this is old as shit and fused and dirty. This is a Netgear phone stand. It's really cute. That's it. Anyway, I'm just going to leave these in the middle. I don't have much else to say. My name's Pokidoo too. I'll see you guys later. Peace. Horsey!